Hello and welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where we will be building up to a massive game. On Monday night, for whatever reason, Barca will be taking on Rayo Vallecano and we have the opportunity to go back top of La Liga. This is absolutely huge. We're going to be talking about the weekend's events that took place in the league. It was quite extraordinary from a Barca point of view. We're also going to be talking right here about the latest team news ahead of this one and predictions return today, guys. So it's all on the way for you. Get yourselves ready and let's do this. Because indeed, guys, it is safe to say that the events in La Liga on Saturday were absolutely joyous. It was a perfect day. It really was from a Barca point of view. You had Real Madrid there going away to Osasuna, which we all know is never ever an easy game. They drew that game 1-1 there, dropped 2 points in the process, and then Atletico Madrid followed that up right after it, the very next game, also by dropping 2 points there. They drew 1-1 with Celta at home. So in terms of the scorelines there, it was very much 1-1. And the ironic thing was, well, nobody won. Real Madrid nor Atleti could pick up a win. And that was absolutely massive and couldn't have been any more perfect for Barca. Because what that means right here, in terms of the league table, we have gone from being way back, way behind in this title race only a few weeks ago to suddenly we have the chance with a win to go back to the very summit there. We can go level on points with Real Madrid, but of course we would technically be above them, not only on goal difference, but we already have a superior head-to-head advantage, which should remain the same, no matter what happens in the reverse fixture there in the Clásico later on in the season. And this is wonderful. This is what we've been waiting for here. Moments, opportunities to capitalise on these mistakes. And I think it's really interesting right now, when you're looking at the top three, when you're looking at Real, Atleti, Barca, in terms of the fixtures that they have to come. I mean, when you're looking at Real Madrid, they've got some tricky games over these next few weeks as well, of course. They've got to play Man City already. That's going to take a lot out of them. Maybe that contributed to them this weekend as well. Away at Real Betis they will go. Also away at Villarreal. And Atleti too. They've got to take on Valencia at Mestalla. We know Valencia are a bit hit and miss right now. But Athletic Club and Getafe away, we know that is not an easy game either. Then they will play against us. So when I'm looking right now at Barca's games, we've got Rayo at home. We've got Las Palmas away, Sociedad then and Osasuna, tricky teams to face, but at home, that is really positive. Before then, we go to Atletico Madrid. So right now it feels as though things are really opening up for Barca. We've had a whole week of rest and more coming into this game. This is our chance. Let's make it count. But of course, guys, as is the case whenever Real Madrid drop points, there's always going to be some layer of controversy. They are going to point to something. They are going to say, look, the only reason that we didn't win was because of the referees. They've been saying that now for week upon week. And in this game, of course, Jude Bellingham was sent off there, given a straight red card after 39 minutes of the game. And I've got to be honest with you, this has been waiting to happen. It's quite extraordinary. It's quite incredible that it's actually taken this long. You know, I have seen him game upon game there, lashing out real verbal abuse, actually going in the direction of the referees and the officials. And of course, yesterday, he crossed the line again. And what I found was absolutely extraordinary was Carlo Ancelotti coming out after the game and actually saying, oh, it's okay. I mean, I can't believe what's gone on here is a real misunderstanding. Jude Bellingham didn't say, F you. He said, off. As if, well, you know, that's fine then. That's okay. Nobody cares about that. It's a perfectly normal thing to do. How on earth is that going to be acceptable? How on earth do you think that's a good excuse there? Come on. And of course, you know, in typical fashion here in terms of the Spanish media, well, Hansi Flick was asked about this in his press conference there. They actually went and they asked Flick, what is the difference for you between the two? You know, can you see that there's a difference in the two phrases? And what is your interpretation of that? And Flick actually said, look, if you said this to me, I'd think that it wasn't very nice, and it does show a lack of respect. But he said, I'm not the one who decides on these matters, it's not my job. He said, I always tell my players personally, why waste time or energy arguing with the ref after the decision's been made? Only a captain is allowed to speak, and we have to accept that. And to be perfectly fair here to Hansi Flick, he has said that all season long there. He has made a real effort to tell the Barca players, look, there's no point in arguing. Things might go against us, and believe me, they have done, but arguing about it is not going to change the decision there. And as always, wise words from Hansi Flick. Maybe Jude Bellingham would take some of that on board and keep himself out of trouble. Or, of course, don't. He'd probably just tell me to f*** off. But indeed, guys, one of the fantastic quotes that we did hear today from Hansi Flick in his press conference, though, was with regard here to the training sessions, of course. We've had a lot of time this week to work on things. The players have also had a few days off as well, which is really, really useful. And Flick did say, my players love training, and they love to improve, and that's what we're going to see now. He said they're really confident. That confidence comes from the training, and then from the winning, because he said after every single game, we all say, we will get better. And that is a great mentality here that Hansi Flick has really instilled into these players. They want to train, they want to work, they want to come in and improve every single game, every single day. And that is what we have seen over the course of the season, and that should stand us in really, really good stead ahead of a big, big game like it is tomorrow night. And in terms of the team news right here, guys, let's actually first of all start with a more longer term issue in terms of injuries. Let's talk about Marc-Andre ter Stegen, because some big news came from him on the weekend, because he returned to the field for the very first time since, of course, that really, really bad knee injury back in September. And ter Stegen actually said there that it was a really great feeling for him to be back on the field there, walk out again, put his gloves on, start feeling like a goalkeeper again. And ever since that surgery, it's been interesting, because from what we've heard, ter Stegen really does want to get back as quickly as he possibly can, and he's always actually been targeting a return before the end of the season there. He said before that he would love to return round about the business end there, round about the big Champions League games at the end of the season. And I'm just thinking, hypothetically here, guys, what would you do then if you're Hansi Flick, if ter Stegen does continue on this path, if the recovery is going really, really well, and he does get back before the end of the campaign? It's going to be tricky though, isn't it? Because obviously after that long out, so many months on the sidelines, that real rehabilitation period, it's going to take some time for him again, especially as a goalkeeper, and especially coming back into some of the most important games of the season there. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how long ter Stegen now is going to take. Now he's back on the field, back with his gloves on. He is recovering well, but only time will tell if he will play again this season. But in terms of Ronald Araujo right now, much, much more positive news on him, because he went off injured, of course, against Sevilla in our last game. We all feared the worst in that moment. He was subbed off. He was really, really emotional on the bench as well. But great news for him. That was only an impact injury, only there a very, very heavy knock, which he's fully recovered from. He has now been back in full training, and Hansi Flick says that from tomorrow, he should be fully available and back in the squad. And of course, whether he plays, that's going to be a different story. That's going to be a different kind of question, because what's really interesting now is that with all of this rest that we've had, guys, and all of this recovery time for the squad, we are finally going to get to see in these kinds of games what Hansi Flick believes is his very best team. Because now we're not picking the team based on rotation. We've not really got many injuries either. We are going to be seeing the teams now that Flick is saying, look, you're my best lineup. You are my absolute best options. And what is the team going to be on Monday night? Because obviously in goal it is going to be Szczesny. We know that absolutely 100% sure. And then along the back line, I think, to be honest, guys, that kind of picks itself too. When everybody's fit with what we've seen so far this season, the best backline that we have right now, it's Jules Koundé, it's Alejandro Balde. Both of those have been outstanding. And at centre-back, it's Kubasi and it's Inigo alongside him. Now, we know how good Araujo is. I'm not saying that. I'm not disputing that at all. But Inigo Martinez has been one of our most impressive players this season, and he would deserve his place alongside Pau there at the heart of defence. And for me, one of the biggest decisions would come in midfield. The question again is going to be, is it Frankie or is it Marc Casado? Which one of those is going to start alongside Pedri? And then again, in the number 10 role, is that going to be Dani Olmo, or is that going to be Gavi? So those are the two really big decisions. And again, it's going to give us insight. It's going to give us a really good idea of what Flick is feeling. Would you opt for Frenkie? Would you opt for Casado? Would you opt for Olmo? Or would you opt for Gavi? Those are big, big calls, guys. Let me know what your choices would be down below, because obviously then you're going to complete the attack with Lamine Yamal, with Lewandowski, and with Rafinha, although in this game, Ferran Torres will be hoping to make his way onto the field at some stage. Because indeed, guys, today's predictions are coming to you courtesy of the SofaScore app, and if you would like to cast your vote here and get involved during the games on SofaScore, please download using the link in the description. That will be a big, big help to the channel, because, well, who do I think will win? I am obviously gonna opt for Barca in that area. 84% of people on the app right now believe that Barca will get the win. Will both teams score? I mean, it's interesting this season because obviously we've not been blessed with many clean sheets. So I would actually say maybe in this game both teams will score. I think Barca will score more, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rayo did score. And as you can see, that vote there is quite split. Who is going to score first? I'm going to say Barca. We have started so many games so quickly. We want to be quick out of the blocks, get that early goal, and really build on that. So like I say, guys, if you would like to get involved on SofaScore, cast your own votes, you can do it right here with the link in the description, which also really helps the channel. So that indeed, guys, is the full match preview ahead of a game that could take us back to the promised land. We can return to the top of La Liga on Monday. Will it happen? We are only hours away from finding out. But come on, we can do this. We can get that win. We can lift ourselves back up when a few weeks ago it seemed absolutely unlikely. But we are back here through hard work and determination, guys. So let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below. What are your predictions ahead of this game? What would you do if you were Hansi Flick in terms of the lineup? And I will see you after the game when hopefully we will be in jubilant mood. We will be celebrating our return to the top, I hope. Let's see what's going to happen. I will catch all of you then, guys. Thank you indeed for the great support. But until next time, as always, Vejska, El Barça.